Do these 8 things when you hug a woman to make her want you more. Psychology tricks. Love does not consist in gazing at each other, but in looking outward together in the same direction. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Look, by the time you hug her, she is already feeling something about you. Long before the conversation is judged, long before your words have a chance to impress or disappoint, her body is already reading your energy. One hug can say more than a full hour of talking. One moment of contact can create warmth, tension, comfort, or complete emptiness. That is why so many men get confused. They think attraction is built only through what they say, while completely missing what they communicate without a single word. The truth is simple. A hug is never just a hug. It is a signal. It tells her whether you feel grounded or uncertain, calm or needy, present or disconnected. And most men ruin that moment without even realizing it. Not because they are bad men, but because nobody ever taught them what that kind of closeness really communicates. Over the years, I have studied how women respond to subtle emotional and physical cues, and what I am about to unpack comes from that deeper layer of human behavior most people overlook. These are not cheap games, and they are not magic moves. They are natural psychological responses tied to emotion, safety, tension, and connection. When you understand them, the difference is immediate. She feels it, she notices it, she remembers it. So pay close attention, because missing even one small detail can weaken the moment more than you think. And if you are the kind of man who wants to understand attraction, emotional presence, and human nature on a deeper level than the average guy ever will, then stay with me, because this is where surface level advice ends and real insight begins. 1. The cheek graze effect. Now, listen closely, because this is where most men completely miss the moment without even realizing it. The cheek graze effect. This is subtle, almost invisible, yet it carries more emotional weight than anything loud or obvious. As you begin to release the hug, don't rush it. Don't pull away like you're escaping. Be present. Be deliberate. Slightly turn your head just enough so that your cheek gently brushes against hers. That is it. No force, no intention to impress, just a soft, natural movement, like you almost had something to say but chose restraint instead. And that restraint, that quiet control, is exactly what makes this one of the most powerful psychology tricks rooted in real female psychology and how to fall in love. Understand this: the face is personal territory. People don't casually allow access to it. When your cheek lightly grazes hers, you step into a space that is reserved only for those she feels safe with, those she trusts, those she feels emotionally close to, even if she hasn't consciously admitted it yet. That is why this moment hits differently. It bypasses logic. It goes straight to emotion. And emotion is where attraction lives. Don't overdo it. Don't exaggerate the movement. That kills it. Subtlety is your strength here. Precision is your power. You must make it feel unplanned yet undeniable. And here's what happens next. Whether she tells you or not, her mind starts working. Quietly, rapidly. She replays that moment again and again. She asks herself, did he mean that? That question is everything. Because now, instead of you chasing her attention, her mind is chasing the meaning between your action. That is one of the most overlooked psychology tricks when it comes to female psychology and how to fall in love. You are no longer just another interaction in her day. You become a moment, a question, a feeling she didn't expect. Don't talk your way through this. Don't explain it. Don't ruin it with unnecessary words. Silence, when used correctly, is more powerful than any line you could ever deliver. Let that small moment breathe. Let it exist without interference, because the mystery is what gives it life. The uncertainty is what makes it replay in her mind. If you try to control it too much, you lose it. If you stay grounded, calm, and intentional, you amplify it. Now think about the shift this creates. Before that moment, you were just a guy she was interacting with, friendly, normal, predictable. After that moment, something changes. You become memorable, not because you tried harder, but because you felt different. That is the key. Attraction is not built on effort alone. It is built on emotional contrast, on moments that stand out, on experiences that feel just slightly outside the ordinary. And this simple cheek graze effect does exactly that when done right. You'll notice the difference if you pay attention. She may start standing a little closer next time. She may hold eye contact just a second longer. She may become more aware of your presence. That is not random. That is the seed you planted starting to grow. And seeds don't grow through force, they grow through patience, consistency, and the right environment. This is where most men fail. They try to escalate too quickly after creating a moment. Don't do that. Let it unfold. Let her come toward you emotionally. Remember this, in female psychology and how to fall in love, it's not about overwhelming her with intensity. It's about creating small, meaningful moments that feel safe, intriguing, and just slightly unfinished. That unfinished feeling is what keeps her thinking about you later. That is why this works. Not because it's flashy, not because it's obvious, but because it leaves space for her imagination to fill in the gaps. And here's your rule, be calm, always calm. Your energy must say, I'm in control of myself, not in a rigid way, but in a grounded, effortless way. When you move slowly, when you don't rush away, when you allow that soft contact to happen naturally, you communicate confidence without saying a word. That is the kind of signal that lands deeply. That is the kind of signal that stays with her long after the moment ends. So don't underestimate this. Don't dismiss it as something small. The smallest actions, when done with awareness, create the biggest emotional impact. This is not about manipulation. This is about understanding human connection at a deeper level. It's about knowing how subtle cues shape perception. And when you understand that, you stop guessing. You start moving with intention. Use this wisely. Keep it natural, keep it respectful, and most importantly, keep it real. Because when your actions align with a calm, centered presence, these psychology tricks stop being tricks and start becoming part of who you are. Second, the grounded stillness. And this is where most men quietly lose the moment without even realizing it. Because the truth is simple. Most men don't know how to be still. They fidget, they adjust their hands, they shift their weight, they overthink the moment instead of living in it. And a woman feels that instantly, not with her mind, but with her body. Don't ignore this. Don't brush it off as something small. That restless movement signals uncertainty. It whispers, I'm not fully here, and that breaks the emotional connection before it even has a chance to grow. But when you do the opposite, when you hold her and your body becomes still, calm, grounded, rooted, it creates a completely different experience. That is where a high value man separates himself from the rest. Because stillness is not emptiness, stillness is control, it is presence, it is quiet confidence without the need to prove anything. When your body is steady, you are communicating something powerful without saying a word. I am in control, I am present, I am not nervous. That is masculine energy in its purest form, calm, centered, and unshaken. Be aware of this. Be intentional. Your stillness is not passive, it is active control. It is the discipline of choosing not to move when your instincts tell you to fidget. It is the ability to sit in the moment without trying to fix it, improve it, or escape it. That is rare, and rare is what attracts women. Think about it. In a world where everything is fast, loud, and distracted, a man who can be still feels different. He feels safe. He feels grounded. He feels like a place she can rest. And that is exactly what she is looking for, even if she never says it out loud. When you embody that kind of presence, you don't need clever lines. You don't need to impress. Your energy does the work for you. Don't rush the hug. Don't treat it like a quick formality. Be there. Feel your feet on the ground. Relax your shoulders. Let your breathing slow down naturally. That is how you anchor yourself in the moment. That is how you allow her to feel your presence, not just your touch. Because here's the deeper truth: people don't connect through movement, they connect through feeling. And feeling needs space, it needs stillness. When you're still, she begins to mirror you. Her body softens, her breathing slows, her guard drops without effort. That is not manipulation. That is emotional alignment. That is what happens when your masculine energy is stable enough to lead the moment without force. And this is exactly how you attract women on a deeper level, not through performance, but through presence. Don't misunderstand this. Doing less does not mean doing nothing. It means doing exactly what matters and removing everything that doesn't. Most men try to add more movement, more talking, more effort. But attraction doesn't grow from excess. It grows from precision. It grows from intention. A high value man understands that sometimes the most powerful thing he can do is simply hold still. And here's where it becomes even more important. Stillness requires inner control. If your mind is racing, your body will show it. If you're seeking approval, your movements will betray you. So don't just train your body, train your mindset. Be comfortable in your own presence first, because if you're not at ease with yourself, you will never feel at ease with her. Be the man who doesn't need to fill every second with action. Be the man who can stand in silence and still feel powerful. That is masculine energy at its highest level, not loud, not forced, but undeniable. When you master this, you stop chasing reactions. You start creating them naturally. And remember this: energy doesn't lie. You can say all the right words, but if your body is restless, she will feel the disconnect. On the other hand, you can say nothing at all, and if your presence is grounded, she will feel drawn to you without understanding why. That is the difference between surface level attraction and deep emotional pull. So the next time you hug her, don't rush, don't fidget, don't overthink. Be still, be grounded, be present. Let your body speak with certainty. Let your calmness guide the moment. Because when you are steady, she begins to trust. When you are rooted, she begins to relax. And when you master that level of control, you don't just attract women, you create a feeling they don't want to walk away from. If this hit you, then you already know. Power isn't in movement, it's in control. Most men try too hard. You don't. You stay grounded. You stay still. That's what sets you apart. So drop this in the comments right now. I move less, but I mean more. Like the video, subscribe for more sharp, real insight, and remember, stillness isn't hesitation, it's quiet power. Third, hold her half a second longer than she expects. That line sounds simple, almost too simple, but don't underestimate it. That is where everything shifts. That is where a regular moment turns into something she remembers. Most men treat a hug like a formality: quick in, quick out, like checking a box. No presence, no intention, no weight behind it. Don't do that. Don't rush. Don't treat the moment like it doesn't matter, because that extra half second, that is where your intention speaks louder than any word you've ever said. And intention is what allows a high value man to stand apart without trying too hard. Be aware of what happens in that tiny pause. First, she notices something is different. Oh, he's still holding me. That is the spark. Then her mind leans in, just a little. Does he actually like this? That is curiosity. And curiosity is powerful. It pulls people in. It makes them want to understand you, feel you, stay near you. Then comes the shift you cannot fake: the warmth, the subtle emotional response, the quiet flutter in her chest. That is not something you force. That is something you allow. That is how you attract women without chasing, without performing, without saying a single extra word. Most men miss this because they are too busy being in their own heads. They hug, but they are thinking, am I doing this right? Is this too long? Is this weird? And so they pull away too fast, too safe, too predictable. Don't do that. Don't move from fear. Don't act like you need permission to exist in the moment because she feels that hesitation instantly. She may not explain it, but she feels it. And when she feels that nervous, rushed energy, something inside her quietly steps back. Attraction fades, interest cools. The moment dies before it even had a chance to breathe. Now, understand this clearly. Holding her half a second longer is not about being clingy. It is not about overstaying. It is about being present. It is about being intentional. There is a difference. A high value man does not grab or hold on awkwardly. He doesn't linger in a way that feels forced. He simply stays for that extra beat, calm, grounded, unshaken. That is masculine energy in its purest form. Not loud, not aggressive, just steady, just certain. Be the man who is comfortable in silence. Be the man who does not rush moments that matter. That extra half second tells her, I'm here. I'm not in a hurry to escape. I'm not afraid of connection. And that is rare. That is what makes her pause. That is what makes her think about you later when she is alone. Because most interactions in life feel rushed, shallow, forgettable. But when someone slows down just enough to actually feel the moment, it stands out. It lingers. And here is where it gets even deeper. That half second is not just about her. It is about you. It is about your internal state. If you are calm, she feels calm. If you are grounded, she feels grounded. If you are confident, she feels safe. That is how masculine energy works. It is not something you say, it is something you transmit. So don't fake it. Don't try to act confident. Build that inner stillness. Because when it is real, you don't need to think about timing. Your body naturally knows when to stay, when to release. Most guys pull away like they are diffusing a bomb, quick, careful, almost apologetic. That is not attractive. That feels like uncertainty, and uncertainty breaks emotional tension in the wrong way. But when you hold her just a little longer, without tension, without stiffness, without overthinking, you create a different kind of tension, a good one, a quiet one, the kind that makes her feel something without knowing exactly why. That is how you attract women on a deeper level, not just physically, but emotionally. Be clear. You are not asking for permission with your actions. You are expressing yourself. I know what I want, and I'm not ashamed of it. That is the message. Not through words, but through presence, through stillness, through that extra half second that most men are too afraid to take. That is what separates the forgettable from the unforgettable. That is what separates the man she smiles at from the man she thinks about later. And here is the truth many don't realize. Women don't remember perfect technique. They remember how you made them feel. That extra moment of connection, that subtle pause, that quiet confidence, it leaves a mark. It becomes a feeling she cannot easily explain, but she wants to feel it again. That is why the high value man doesn't chase attention. He creates experiences. Small ones, simple ones, but real. So next time, don't rush the hug. Don't treat it like something to get through. Be there. Feel it. Let the moment breathe. Hold her just half a second longer than she expects, and then let go naturally, without hesitation, without second guessing. That is control. That is awareness. That is masculine energy in action. And understand this, the power is not in the length of the hug, it is in the intention behind it. A rushed 3-second hug feels empty. A present 2-second hug feels meaningful. That extra half second, that is the bridge between the two. That is where emotion lives. That is where connection grows. So don't underestimate small details. Don't ignore subtle moments. because those are the moments that build attraction quietly, deeply, and naturally. Be patient, be intentional, be the man who doesn't need to rush away from connection. Because when you master that, you don't need tricks, you don't need lines, you don't need to perform. You simply show up as a high value man, and the right energy follows. Fourth, the clean release. Eighth, the clean release. And this is where most men quietly lose the impact they just created, because how you end the hug matters just as much as how you start it, maybe even more. Think about it. A great moment can collapse in seconds if the exit feels unsure. And women, whether they realize it or not, are highly tuned to these subtle shifts through female psychology. So don't overlook this. Most guys break away awkwardly. They hesitate like they're asking, should I stay or should I go? And that hesitation creates tension. Or they linger too long, holding on as if they're afraid the moment will disappear, and that signals neediness. Or worse, they pull back too fast, like they're uncomfortable, like they didn't fully own the moment, and that breaks the emotional flow completely. Don't do that. Don't rush, don't cling, don't drift. Be intentional. That is the difference. Because the right way to release a hug is clean, smooth, and decisive, like a man who knows exactly what he's doing without overthinking it. You release without tension in your arms, without confusion in your body language, without second guessing in your mind. And that silent clarity communicates something powerful. That moment was enough, and I'm good. And that energy lands deeper than any words ever could. Because in female psychology, certainty feels safe, certainty feels attractive, certainty creates curiosity. Now, here's where it becomes one of those subtle psychology tricks most men never learn. When you end the hug cleanly, you leave emotional space behind. And space is where attraction grows. Space is where she starts to feel something missing, something she wants again. And that is how to fall in love begins. In small, almost invisible moments like this, not from force, not from overdoing, but from restraint and timing. So don't try to squeeze every ounce out of the hug. Don't think, if I hold longer, she'll feel more, because it works the opposite way. Attraction doesn't grow from holding on too long. It grows from knowing when to let go, from trusting that what you created was enough. And that confidence, quiet, grounded, unspoken, is what stays with her long after the hug ends. Be smooth when you pull away. Not abrupt, not hesitant, just natural, like the movement was always meant to happen. Keep your posture steady, your energy calm, your presence intact. Don't immediately fidget. Don't look around nervously. Don't break the frame you just built, because the release is not the end. It's the final note of the experience, and in many ways, it's the note she remembers most. Think of it like music. The last note determines how the entire song feels, and when you master this, when your release is clean and composed, it creates a quiet tension, a subtle pull, something she can't quite explain but definitely feels. And this is where psychology tricks, female psychology, and how to fall in love all intersect in a real, practical way. Not in theory, not in complicated tactics, but in simple, controlled actions done with awareness. You must understand this. Attraction is not about doing more. It's about doing things right and then knowing when to stop. That is power. That is presence. That is the kind of energy that separates a man who is trying from a man who is chosen. So the next time you hug her, don't just think about how you start. Don't just focus on the middle, focus on the exit. Own it. Be clean. Be decisive. Be calm. And walk away from that moment like it served its purpose. Because when you do that, you don't chase the feeling, you leave it behind for her to chase. And that is where the real shift happens. That is where she begins to lean in, to think about you, to feel drawn without knowing why. And that is the quiet, undeniable effect of mastering something as simple yet as powerful as the clean release. Fifth, the anchor touch. Most men completely miss this, and it costs them more than they realize. A hug is never just a hug. It is a message. It is a signal. It is a moment where your body speaks before your words ever get the chance. And if you understand even a little bit of female psychology, you'll see why this matters. First, the anchor touch. This is where everything begins. Most men rush it, keep it light, keep it polite, and walk away thinking they did the right thing. Don't do that. Be intentional. When you pull her in, place one hand firmly between her shoulder blades. Not randomly, not softly, not like you're unsure of yourself. Right there, steady, grounded. That is the difference. Because that exact spot carries tension, stress from her day, pressure from life, emotions she doesn't always express. When your hand lands there with calm confidence, her nervous system responds instantly. She may not understand it consciously, but something inside her settles. That is female psychology at work. Her body reads you before her mind does, and in that moment, you are either safe or forgettable. Be the man who feels like calm in a storm. Don't squeeze too hard. Don't hover. Hold with purpose. That is what creates presence, and presence is what makes her remember you. This is not about manipulation. This is about awareness. Real psychology tricks are not about games. They are about understanding human nature and respecting it. When you master that, everything changes. You must also control your energy. A hug is not just physical contact, it is emotional transfer. If you are tense, rushed, distracted, she will feel it. If you are grounded, calm, and centered, she will feel that too. And guess which one makes her lean in without even realizing it? Exactly. That is how to fall in love without saying a word. You create a feeling she wants to return to. And here's the truth most men ignore. Women don't remember what you said nearly as much as they remember how you made them feel. So don't overthink your words. Refine your presence. Be slow. Be deliberate. Don't rush the hug like it's a formality. Let it breathe for a second longer than expected. Not awkwardly long, just enough to let the moment register. That is where emotional memory is built. That is where attraction quietly grows. And here's another layer. Your intention must be clean. If your mind is chaotic, needy, or seeking validation, she will sense it. Female psychology is incredibly sharp when it comes to emotional detection. You cannot fake grounded confidence, you become it. That is why this isn't just about a technique, it's about who you are when you do it. Be present, be steady, be a man who is comfortable in his own skin. Don't chase reactions. Don't look for approval. Give the moment, then let it go. That is power, and that is rare. Most men either hold back too much or try too hard. Both feel off. The balance is simple, but not easy. Calm strength. When she feels that through something as simple as a hug, it leaves a mark. Not a dramatic one, not something she can explain to her friends, but something quiet, something that makes her think there's something different about him. That is the beginning. That is how attraction often starts, subtle, unspoken, but deeply felt. And when you understand how to fall in love from a psychological perspective, you realize it's never about grand gestures. It's about small, consistent signals that build trust and comfort over time. This one move, the anchor touch, is one of those signals. Use it wisely. Don't overuse it. Don't make it mechanical. Feel the moment. Adjust to the situation. Respect her space. But when the moment is right, don't hesitate, because hesitation breaks the flow. Confidence carries it forward. And remember this, the goal is not to impress. The goal is to connect. Impressing is loud. Connection is quiet. One fades quickly, the other lingers. So next time you hug her, don't just go through the motions. Be aware. Be intentional. Let your presence speak. Because in that brief moment, you are telling her everything she needs to know without saying a single word. Sixth, this one is low key, the most underrated thing in attraction, the slow exhale. Listen carefully because this is where most men completely miss the point, and yet this is where the real power lives. The slow exhale, the quiet breath, the invisible signal that speaks louder than any words you could ever say. As Marcus Aurelius once reminded us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. And in this moment, your breath is that power, your control, your silent authority. When you hold her, don't rush, don't tense up, don't fill the space with nervous energy. Be still, be grounded, and then take one deep, slow, controlled breath out. Because that single action is not just physical, it is psychological, it is emotional, it is deeply rooted in old Stoic wisdom that teaches mastery over self before mastery over anything else. Understand this: her body is reading you, not your words, not your intentions, but your state. And when your breathing slows, when your chest softens, when your presence becomes steady, her nervous system begins to mirror yours. This is not theory, this is biology. This is how human beings connect at the deepest level. You must realize that attraction is not built in loud moments. It is built in subtle ones, in silence, in stillness, in control. And this is exactly where Stoicism win becomes real in your life, not in what you say, but in how you exist in that moment. When you exhale slowly, you are telling her without speaking, I am calm, I am here, there is nothing to prove. And that is rare. That is powerful. That is what creates an iron mind. In today's world, where everything is fast, reactive, and distracted, a man who can slow down his breath becomes a man who stands out without trying, a man who doesn't chase attention, but naturally attracts it. You've heard women say, he just makes me feel calm, safe. I don't even know why. And that confusion she feels is exactly your advantage, because what she's responding to is not logic, it's alignment. It's her body syncing with yours. It's her dropping her guard without realizing it. Don't underestimate this. Don't rush past this. This is where connection begins. Relaxation leads to trust. Trust builds emotional safety. Emotional safety creates desire. And desire, real desire, is never forced. It grows quietly, steadily, naturally. You must be the man who controls the pace, who controls himself, who understands that the strongest presence is not loud, it is steady, it is grounded, it is certain. As Epictetus taught, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. And in this case, be the man who brings calm into chaos, who brings stillness into movement, who brings certainty into uncertainty. That is Stoicism win in action. That is old Stoic wisdom applied to modern attraction. When you breathe slowly, you are not just calming her. You are demonstrating discipline, control, and awareness, the traits of an iron mind, the traits of a man who leads without needing to dominate, who attracts without needing to chase. And here is your instruction. Don't rush the hug. Don't treat it as a formality. Don't break the moment too soon. Stay, breathe, feel the stillness. Let her feel it too. Because when she relaxes in your arms, something shifts, something opens, something connects. And that connection is what every man is searching for, but very few understand how to create. This is not about tricks. This is not about manipulation. This is about mastery. Mastery of self, mastery of presence, mastery of energy. You must train this. You must practice this. Because once you do, you stop trying to impress and you start allowing attraction to happen naturally, effortlessly, powerfully. And remember this clearly. A man who controls his breath controls his state, and a man who controls his state controls the experience of everyone around him. That is your edge. That is your power. That is your path to becoming the man who doesn't need to chase connection because connection comes to him. If you made it this far, you're already separating yourself from the crowd because most men rush, most men tense up, most men miss the moment completely. But you're learning control, you're learning presence, you're learning how to lead without saying a word. Remember this. Attraction doesn't start with what you say, it starts with how she feels in your arms. Slow down, breathe out, stay grounded. That's where the real connection begins. Now take action. Don't just watch, apply it. The next time you hold her, be the calm she can't explain, the presence she doesn't forget. Comment this below to lock it in. I create calm, I create connection, I create desire. Seventh, this silent confidence. Not every moment needs words. In fact, the strongest moments rarely have any. That is where most men get it wrong. They think connection lives in clever lines, in jokes, in constant talking. It doesn't. Real connection lives in presence. So when you hug her, don't rush to fill the silence. Don't try to impress. Don't break the moment just because it feels unfamiliar. Be still. Let it exist. Because in that silence, something deeper happens. She begins to feel you. Not your words, not your performance, you. And that is rare. That is what separates a high value man from the rest. Most men talk because they are uncomfortable. They speak to cover the tension, to hide their nervous energy, to escape the vulnerability of simply being there. But you must not do that. You must stay. You must hold the moment without trying to control it. That is masculine energy at its core. Calm, grounded, unshaken. Understand this clearly. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is communication. When you are quiet and fully present, your body speaks louder than any sentence ever could. Your breathing slows, your grip becomes steady, your energy becomes consistent. And she picks up on that instantly. Women are highly attuned to emotional signals. They feel what is beneath the surface. So if your silence is tense, she feels it. If your silence is calm, she melts into it. That is why you must train yourself to be comfortable in stillness. Don't fidget. Don't adjust unnecessarily. Don't look for an escape. Stay rooted. Stay there as if you belong in that moment, because you do. A high value man doesn't chase noise, he creates space. And in that space, attraction grows naturally. When you stop trying to do something, you allow something real to happen. Think about it. When was the last time you truly felt someone's presence without distraction? It's rare. That's why it's powerful. That's why it helps you attract women without forcing anything. Because instead of trying to win her over, you're giving her something she doesn't often experience: peace. And peace is magnetic. Don't underestimate how much strength it takes to stay silent. Anyone can talk, anyone can fill a moment with empty words, but not everyone can hold eye contact, stay calm, and say nothing while still making the moment feel full. That is discipline. That is control. That is masculine energy expressed in the most subtle yet powerful way. You must practice this. You must become the man who is not afraid of silence because you understand its value. There's a quiet message you send when you embrace that silence. You're saying, without speaking, I am enough as I am. I don't need to perform. I don't need to impress. I am present, and that is enough. And that message lands deeper than any compliment or joke ever could. It builds trust. It builds intrigue. It creates a sense of safety that words alone cannot achieve. And when she feels safe, she opens up. When she opens up, the connection deepens. That is how a high value man builds attraction, without forcing it, without chasing it, simply by being grounded in who he is. Most men never reach this level because they're addicted to doing. They think they must always act, always say something, always lead with visible effort. But real leadership in moments like this is invisible. It's emotional steadiness. It's the ability to guide the moment without words. So when you hug her, don't rush it. Don't treat it like a quick formality. Let the moment breathe. Let the silence stretch just enough to create tension, but not discomfort. That balance is where the magic happens. Be aware of your internal state. If your mind is racing, she will feel it. If you're calm, she will sync with that calm. That's how human connection works. Energy transfers. So before you even touch her, center yourself. Slow down, breathe. Bring your attention into the present moment. Then, when you hold her, you're not just physically there, you're fully there. That is what makes the difference. That is what allows you to attract women without saying a word. Don't confuse silence with distance. Silence is not about pulling away. It's about being deeply connected without needing to speak. It's about letting your presence do the work. That is why you must stay engaged. Feel the moment. Notice the subtle shifts, her breathing, her body relaxing, the way she leans into you. These are signals. These are responses to your energy. And when you see them, don't interrupt. Don't break the flow. Stay with it. Let it deepen. A man who understands silence understands power, not loud power, not aggressive power, quiet power, the kind that doesn't need validation, the kind that doesn't seek approval, the kind that simply exists and influences everything around it. That is the kind of masculine energy that stands out immediately because it's rare, because it's real. So the next time you hug her, remember this. Don't talk just to fill the space. Don't move just to ease your own discomfort. Be still, be calm, be present. Let the silence speak for you. That is where your strength shows. That is where attraction grows. And that is how a high value man creates moments that stay with her long after the hug ends. Eighth, the silent confidence. This is where most men lose the moment without even realizing it, and it has nothing to do with looks, status, or clever words. It comes down to awareness. It comes down to control, not over her, but over yourself. Too many men go wrong in two predictable ways. They either hold too tight, as if gripping harder will somehow create connection, or they go too loose, as if they're unsure whether they even deserve to be there. Don't do that. Don't squeeze like you're trying to prove something. Don't hover like you're asking for permission. Be intentional. Be grounded. The right grip is firm yet relaxed. It is steady yet effortless. It communicates something deeper than attraction. It communicates emotional certainty. And in female psychology, certainty is magnetic. That is one of those subtle psychology tricks that separates the man she forgets from the man she feels. Think about it. When your arms are too tight, her body reads tension, not safety, not warmth, tension. And tension creates distance, even in close proximity. On the other hand, when your hold is too loose, her body reads hesitation. It feels like you're unsure, like you might pull away at any second. That uncertainty breaks the moment. But when you find that balance, when your grip is calm, natural, and unforced, you send a completely different signal. You tell her, without saying a word, I am here, I am present, I don't need to prove anything. And that is powerful. That is how to fall in love without chasing it, without forcing it, without overthinking every move. You must understand this. Women don't respond to pressure, they respond to presence. That is not a line. That is a principle rooted deep in female psychology. Presence means your body is calm, your mind is not racing, your energy is not trying to take something, it is simply there, steady and grounded. And when your grip reflects that, when it feels like a space instead of a trap, something shifts inside her. She relaxes, she softens, she leans in, not because you pulled her closer, but because she feels safe enough to come closer on her own. That is the difference. That is the line most men never see. Be aware of your hands. Be aware of your arms. They are speaking long before your mouth ever does. A relaxed grip says, I choose this moment. It does not say, I need this moment. And that distinction is everything. Neediness repels, choice attracts. One creates pressure, the other creates curiosity. These are the quiet psychology tricks that operate beneath the surface, the ones most men ignore because they seem too simple. But simple does not mean insignificant. In fact, simplicity is often where the deepest power lives. Don't rush the hug. Don't over-adjust. Don't fidget. Let your arms settle naturally. Let the moment breathe. That is how to fall in love, not by forcing intensity, but by allowing connection to unfold without resistance. When your grip is relaxed, your entire body follows. Your breathing slows. Your posture stabilizes. Your energy becomes consistent. And consistency builds trust, even in seconds. That is how female psychology works. It is not about grand gestures. It is about subtle signals repeated with authenticity. And here's what most men miss. She is not analyzing your grip logically. She is feeling it emotionally. Her body is reading your energy faster than her mind can explain it. So if your grip carries tension, she feels it. If it carries doubt, she feels that too. But if it carries calm confidence, real, grounded calm, she feels that as well. And she responds to it, not consciously, naturally, instinctively. That is why these psychology tricks are so effective. They work beneath the surface, where attraction actually lives. Be the man whose touch feels like calm, not chaos. Be the man whose presence feels like clarity, not confusion. That is how to fall in love in a way that lasts, not through force, not through pressure, but through emotional steadiness. Your grip is not just physical, it is a reflection of your internal state. If you are centered, your touch will be centered. If you are at ease, your touch will carry ease. And that is what draws her in. So the next time you hold her, remember this. Don't try to impress. Don't try to control. Don't try to calculate every move. Just be there, fully, calmly, with a grip that says, I'm here because I want to be. That is enough, more than enough. Because in the world of female psychology, the man who brings peace into the moment will always stand out from the man who brings pressure. And when she feels that difference, even for a second, she won't forget it. All right, before you go, let's bring this home the right way. Hey, I appreciate you being here. If you made it this far, it means you're not just watching. You're learning, you're sharpening yourself, and that already puts you ahead of most men. Now listen carefully. This isn't about tricks. It's not about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about presence. It's about control. It's about knowing how to make a moment feel real. When you move with calm confidence, when your touch is steady, when your energy is grounded, you don't need to chase anything. She feels it. And when she feels it, everything changes. So here's my advice to you. Keep it simple, but take it seriously. Don't rush, don't overthink. Be the man who is comfortable in his own body. Be the man who creates a moment instead of begging for one. That is what sets you apart. And remember this, attraction isn't about doing more. It's about doing the right things the right way with the right energy. If this spoke to you, stay with me. There's a lot more you haven't been told yet.